2:17 a.m. Engels 2 airbase. A $270 million Tu-160M strategic bomber, Russia's so-called White Swan, is sitting on the tarmac like a giant middle finger to physics and common sense. Moscow flew this thing to Venezuela once to intimidate America. Washington literally laughed at how loud and visible it was on their sensors. But tonight, Ukraine's about to turn Russia's pride and joy into the world's most expensive lawn ornament. In exactly 90 seconds, that bomber's engines are going to experience what engineers politely call a catastrophic thermal event. At the same moment, 60 Kh-101 cruise missiles, Russia's entire winter strike budget, will detonate in a chain reaction that'll make New Year's fireworks look like birthday candles. And the thing that's going to do it? A swarm of drones that cost less than the watches on Russian generals' wrists. This isn't just an attack, this is the heist of the century. An operation so audacious that Ukrainian special forces literally tried to steal the bomber first, and when that didn't work, decided to just delete it from existence instead. Russia's about to learn that having a $250 million aircraft means nothing when your security is held together with duct tape and delusion. The countdown just started, and Russia has no idea what's coming. Let me paint you a picture of Russian incompetence so beautiful it belongs in a museum. 48 hours before this strike, Ukraine deliberately ambushed a Russian transport convoy. Not random, deliberately. They knew this convoy was moving a brand new Tu-160M bomber. Not just any bomber, but one of the newest variants fresh off the production line. 20 tons of cutting-edge Russian aerospace engineering that probably cost more than the entire GDP of a small island nation. Here's where it gets delicious. The Ukrainian strike didn't destroy the bomber, it clipped its wings just enough to damage it. Strategic brilliance right there. Because now Russia has a problem. They've got this massive, expensive, heavily damaged aircraft that needs emergency repairs. And guess where they have to park it? Right out in the open, on the North Hardstand, under the stars. Like a Honda Civic with a broken transmission sitting in someone's driveway. Why? Because Russian logistics is currently about as organized as a yard sale in a hurricane. The specialized hangars aren't ready. The repair facilities are backed up. And someone, somewhere in the Russian command structure, made the absolutely galaxy-brain decision to leave their most expensive aircraft sitting outside like it's a used car lot. The Kremlin's invincible symbol of Soviet-era glory, the bird they flew to Venezuela to prove they're still a superpower, is currently a sitting duck undergoing emergency repairs in the equivalent of a parking lot. You cannot make this stuff up. But here's what makes this even more absurd. Engels 2 was supposed to be safe. This base is 600 miles deep into Russian territory, covered by what Moscow calls an impenetrable S-400 umbrella. The kind of air defense system Russia's been selling to every country willing to pay top dollar, claiming it can shoot down anything from stealth fighters to cruise missiles to probably Santa's sleigh if he wandered into Russian airspace. Russia genuinely believed no one would dare touch the White Swan. They thought their billion-dollar defense systems made it untouchable. They were so confident that they didn't even bother moving the damaged bomber into covered storage, just left it sitting there, glowing like a neon sign that says, "Expensive target here, please don't hit." Ukraine looked at this situation, a damaged bomber sitting in the open, protected by air defenses that Russia swears are invincible, and apparently thought, challenge accepted. The stakes here are absolutely astronomical. This isn't about destroying one plane. Every Kh-101 missile sitting in the nearby storage bunkers represents a cold, dark night for a Ukrainian family. Every sortie this bomber could fly means another Ukrainian power grid getting hit, another hospital losing electricity, another city going dark in the middle of winter. By targeting Engels 2, Ukraine's playing the highest stakes game of strategic theft imaginable. They're not just trying to destroy equipment, they're trying to steal Russia's ability to wage war before the engines even turn over. And the Ukrainian command center knows exactly what they're doing. 6 mini quadcopter drones are ghosting through thick river fog over the Volga, looking for one specific shape: the elegant, terrifying silhouette of a Tu-160M. The scouts get visual confirmation. The White Swan is right where it's supposed to be, sitting pretty and completely exposed. The swarm is coming. 50 Ukrainian Beaver drones screaming across 620 miles of Russian heartland at a terrifyingly low 260 feet. That's not flying, that's trespassing. They're threading the needle along the Volga River, using riverbanks and morning fog as a natural stealth cloak. To the long-range S-400 search radars scanning from miles away, these drones are invisible, literally hiding behind the curvature of the earth and tree lines. But Ukraine isn't just relying on hide and seek. They're about to play the most expensive game of look over there in military history. Suddenly, 10 specialized decoy drones break formation and pull into a vertical climb. They're screaming at Russian sensors, "Hey, look at me, I'm a Storm Shadow cruise missile!" And Russia? They bite. Hook, line, and sinker. Inside the S-400 command vehicle, the radar screen turns into a strobing mess of red alerts. The commander, desperate to save the Tu-160M, doesn't wait for confirmation. He doesn't verify. He doesn't think. He just lets loose 4 48N6E missiles. That's $8 million of Russian high-tech interceptors launched into the stratosphere to vaporize $50,000 worth of decoy plastic. Let me repeat that for emphasis. $8 million to kill $50,000 of Ukrainian bait. It's the kind of return on investment that would make a Wall Street short seller weep with joy. As the decoys disappear in fireballs 5 miles up, the Russian crews are probably cheering, high-fiving, convinced they just intercepted a NATO-level strike. They have absolutely no idea they just swatted at ghosts while the real burglars are picking the lock on the front door. While the big eyes of the S-400 are staring at the stars like a golden retriever watching a tennis ball. The teeth of the base, the Panzer S-1 systems, are waking up to a digital nightmare. Now, the Panzer is supposed to be the ultimate swarm killer. Russian marketing says it can track 300 targets simultaneously. The brochure makes it sound like the Terminator's more competent older brother. Reality? Reality is a lot messier than the glossy PDF. The combination of the Volga's river clutter and the electronic noise from the dying decoys creates what engineers call a sensory kill box. What normal people would call the radar equivalent of trying to read a book while someone's shining strobe lights in your face and blasting death metal. For exactly 45 seconds, the Panzer's fire control computer effectively has a seizure. Russian operators are frantic, their turrets slewing wildly as they try to distinguish between a real threat and environmental static. It's like watching someone try to swat flies in a tornado. But here's the genius detail that'll make you appreciate Ukrainian planning. The decoys were programmed to create the illusion of a high-altitude dive. The Panzer operators, following their training manual like good little soldiers, point their dual 30mm cannons toward the sky. They're so laser-focused on shielding the White Swan from an imaginary overhead strike that they've left the low-altitude corridors wide open. It's the military equivalent of locking your front door while leaving the back door not just unlocked, but wide open with a welcome mat. Inside Ukrainian mission control, the mood is dead silent. They're watching this unfold in real time, watching Russian air defense do exactly what they predicted, and the tension is suffocating. Because the next part is absolutely bonkers. Hidden in the long grass, just 400 yards from the Tu-160M's massive landing gear, 4 shadows are holding their breath. This is an elite Gore sabotage unit, Ukraine's special forces. And while the world thinks Ukraine is just sending robots to blow things up, these guys are here for the most audacious heist in aviation history. They aren't here to destroy it, they're here to steal it. The lead operative reaches for the boarding ladder, and then a high-frequency condition-red perimeter alarm shatters the silence. A Russian quick reaction force has just been triggered, a completely separate security system, independent from the air raid sirens. Think of it as the base's internal antivirus suddenly waking up and screaming. In the distance, headlights, 3 Tiger armored vehicles already screaming toward the hardstand. The window for Plan A, the heist, slams shut in a heartbeat. The operatives don't hesitate. They vanish back into the Volga fog like ghosts, gone. Just absolutely dissolve into the landscape like they were never there. On a ruggedized tablet, the team lead swipes one final encrypted command. Plan B is live. And Plan B is where things get absolutely catastrophic for Russia. So here's where we are. Russia's White Swan is dead, bleeding hydraulic fluid on a tarmac 600 miles from the front line. 60 Kh-101 missiles, an entire month of winter terror, vaporized in 60 seconds. And the Kremlin's impenetrable air defense umbrella just got exposed as more holes than fabric. The immediate tactical win is obvious. Ukraine deleted a major threat and proved they can strike anywhere in Russia they want. But the strategic implications? Those are going to echo for years. Every Russian commander now operates knowing that their most valuable assets, their bombers, their missile stockpiles, their logistics hubs, are vulnerable. That's not theoretical anxiety. That's proven, demonstrated vulnerability with satellite imagery to back it up. Every NATO planner is recalculating threat assessments and questioning assumptions that have governed defense spending for decades. Every regional power is looking at drone swarm technology and doing the cost-benefit math. And China? China's probably having some very serious conversations about whether their Taiwan invasion plans are built on the same flawed assumptions Russia made. The war everyone thought they understood just became something entirely different. The expensive doesn't beat the cheap anymore. The sophisticated doesn't automatically beat the simple. And the defender who strikes back is always more dangerous than the aggressor expected. Ukraine proved that you don't need to steal the enemy's most advanced weapons to win. You just need to prove those weapons are expensive targets sitting in a shooting gallery. Russia can build more bombers. They can improve defenses, they can adapt, but they can't change the fact that on January the 25th, Ukraine turned a $270 million symbol of Russian power into a monument to Russian failure. And they did it with drones that cost less than a luxury sedan. So what do you think? Was this the smartest tactical operation of the war so far? Or did Russia just have the world's most expensive bad day? If you were the Russian commander, would you pull defenses from the front to protect your pride, or let the Swans take the heat? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me which part of this operation impressed you more, the attempted heist or the swarm execution. Make sure you hit that like button if you love watching underdogs rewrite the rules of warfare, and subscribe, because our next deep dive is going to explore how Ukraine's building an entire drone ecosystem that's making billion-dollar defense contractors sweat. This is just the beginning. The beavers are coming, and Russia's swans are running out of places to hide.